Here's the problem for Colbert. His contract is a payout contract to a transaction where there's a change of control. Only a moron would tell the president to F off before he gets his check, okay? So what's gonna happen now, in my opinion, is tomorrow, CBS, his boss, will fire him, and they will litigate for the next 5 years his payout.
Fire who? Stephen Colbert?
So now you're saying this guy.
Oh, no.
So now you're saying they're really
Wow.
fire them.
I'd whack this guy.
I want to go back to something.
He will never get his check.
And someone said in the comments, Screw, you said Kevin needs to be deported. Dude has citizenship in 3 countries, but like, he doesn't even sound like an American. What type of true American, okay? Like, we talking about like basics here. What type of true American would support and affiliate themselves with a corporation firing somebody for exercising their First Amendment and criticizing our government? Hey, thank you for clicking this video. Just to let you know, this is a clip from my previous live stream that I did. Just want to let you know I go live every Sunday through Thursday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Time. And if you don't know what time that is, go ahead and Google that so you can meet me and have a conversation on my next stream. Once again, I appreciate you clicking this video. Now let's enjoy the video. All right, so my first question for you guys, and let me know in the comments, okay? What does the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, North Korea, Russia, and China have in common? Okay, let me know in the comments, what do these countries have in common? And I know that's a broad question. It could be a lot of things, but when it comes to free speech, when it comes to dictatorships such as those, there is none. There is no free speech for a reason. And when it comes to dictatorships, these are some of the keynotes that I was able to gather together on a reasoning on why these types of countries suffocate people's free speech or just their opinions when it comes to how their government is managing or just ruling them overall. Like, it's a reason for it. And some of the things I have here is dictatorships often own or heavily influence TV, newspapers, and radios. Independent outlets are shut down, bought out, or intimidated. Does that sound pretty familiar? Does that sound like, I mean, it shouldn't even resemble a country like America, but it's slowly starting to do that. There's more. Any content critical of the regime is banned or altered. Books, internet access, and social media may be filtered or blocked. Once again, it is crazy how America is slowly transforming into the country that a lot of Republicans, you know, like back in the day, I remember clearly Americans hated Russia because of that, hated China because of that. And it's weird that we're slowly transforming into it. The media promotes nationalist, pro-leader messaging, often glorifying the dictator's image. They spread disinformation to create fear or blame enemies, real or imagined. If this doesn't scream what Donald Trump is doing, I don't know what it does. And I'm one of the individuals that will say it loud. I'm black and I'm proud. Okay, let's get that out the way. I am one of those individuals that will say it loud that Trump is a fascist. Now, once again, I talked about this in my videos a million times. Being a fascist isn't like a destination. Like, you don't have to like arrive and be a fascist. Like, that's something that you continuously do. You know, so it's not like, oh, he needs to, you know, kill 1 million people. Like, no, there's shades of it. It's on a scale. And unfortunately, when it comes to how a dictatorship is ran, that's Trump 100 million%. Last point here. Journalists are monitored, harassed, or imprisoned for reporting truthfully. Citizens may fear posting or sharing online due to consequences. Once again, what the hell is America doing? I don't know. But let's go ahead and get into the first video. This is CNN. Once again, you know, however you feel about CNN, they do have some interesting conversations. That's why I watch it. But when it comes to Stephen Colbert, okay, I don't watch cable TV. I watch Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, things like that. So when it comes to late night shows like Stephen Colbert, which I only watch on YouTube, to be honest, I am not surprised that late night shows or just cable shows in general are starting to see a decline. Honestly, I'm not surprised this haven't happened years ago. But this is something that's inevitable to these network type of shows, because people are more looking for more of a convenience when it comes to the media that they consume. They rather have it on their phone, quick and ready. They don't have to wait until a certain time. They just want to watch it when they want to watch it. But when it comes to this specific issue, Stephen Colbert, he was number one. Actually, Colbert's show remained number one in its 11:35 p.m. time slot, drawing an average of 2.4 to 2.5 million nightly viewers. So he was number one. So if we gonna cut any show, right? I mean, I'm no producer, but if we gonna cut some shows, we're not gonna cut our number one guy. Why? Oh, unless America is slowly transforming into a dictatorship. That simple.
A stirring message from Stephen Colbert to the president during his first night back since announcing that CBS is canceling The Late Show. Meanwhile, Donald Trump spent the day targeting Colbert's competitors, declaring on Truth Social that Jimmy Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon are next on the chopping block, and taking early credit for their downfall.
So this part right here, I want you guys to remember this, okay? Because you're going to hear a lot of excuses that Trump had nothing to do with this, okay? Which would be fine. But people like Trump just can't shut their mouths. They have to let people know the evil that they're doing. He said, it's really good to see them go. And I hope, and I quote, and I hope I played a major part in it. So for anybody who's trying to defend Trump by saying he had nothing to do with this, he wouldn't dare do such X, Y, and Z thing. Bro, he's saying it himself in the discussion, right?
Then, Trump claimed that Paramount paid $16 million as part of its lawsuit settlement, and he even suggested that he is expecting an additional $20 million from its new owners. But for all that tough talk on cancellations, it's worth remembering that one of the biggest warriors against cancel culture was this guy.
And before she shows, I honestly, she was going to show someone like, I don't know, Bill Gates or something, or some sort of super far left individual, you know, some politician like Bernie Sanders, you know, or Chuck Schumer even, you know, but it's this guy.
One of their political weapons is cancel culture, driving people from their jobs, shaming dissenters, and demanding total submission from anyone who disagrees. This is the very definition of totalitarianism. The goal of cancel culture is to make decent Americans live in fear of being fired. The far left wants to coerce you into saying what you know to be false and scare you out of saying what you know to be true.
Wow.
Joining us at the table now is former Trump economic advisor Steve Moore and the author of The Trump Economic Miracle. Steve, welcome back to the show. Trump says that forcing people out of their jobs for saying things that you don't agree with is the very definition of totalitarianism. Seems like he might be right about that.
Well, first of all, I hate to see Stephen Colbert go because people say I look like him, and that's a great compliment to him. Listen, it's not right wingers who fired Steve Colbert. It was the public who fired him because you know what? His ratings stink.
That's not true.
Kevin, if your ratings stink, you're up here.
Stephen, I got to correct you on that. His ratings do not stink.
Here's the thing I would say about this.
His ratings do not stink.
I grew up in the era of Joan Rivers and Johnny Carson. We used to listen and watch late night TV all the time. You know why? Because it was funny. It was funny. How is it funny for? I mean, really, this tells you a lot about culture.
Yeah, because you had a TV
Stephen Colbert
in
comes
every
up
room.
on the air.
This was over a merger.
Hold on, let me just
This was over a merger.
He dropped.
It was over a merger.
Hold on, let me just
keep it real.
He drops it.
Weaponizing.
Do you think
it's weaponizing the antitrust division of
No,
our federal government.
Yes,
yes.
What does that have to do, Steve?
In order to get rid of people who are critical of the most thin-skinned president in American history.
Do you think it's funny that Steve Colbert says?
I don't watch Steve Colbert, but I know what's actually behind his firing. I know what's behind his firing, and I'm not going to buy any of his dumb gaslighting.
Because people
hang on a second. Hang on a second.
Pathetically sensitive.
Everybody, hang on.
So, once again, it's important to hear other people's opinions, especially when they're on the opposing side, or just any political issue. You're going to hear the same excuses. And like I said at the top of this, if they're trying to talk about his ratings, you already know that's a red flag to saying, I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm not going to criticize Trump. Like I said, in the stats is public information. He was number one. So, and if you look at the scale of all late night talk shows, all of them are seeing a decline. Every news outlet, CNN, MSNBC, even Fox News, well, a little bit Fox News is, but they're all seeing a decline because people are not consuming media in that format. But once again, when you're trying to defend Trump, you have to think like an idiot. You have to ignore all reality, ignore all the data, and say, oh, people just don't think he's funny because he's dogging on Trump and Republicans, obviously. But yeah, it's because he's not funny, right? But he's number one, but he's not funny. Okay, got you.
1 second, Kevin. Just give me just a moment. Let me just reset the table here for just a moment. Okay, because if we're gonna hang this on ratings, Colbert was the highest rated of the shows in his time slot. There's that. But secondly, I don't care if you don't think he's funny.
Right.
I don't. There are plenty of people I don't think are funny. I think the real question is, should the president of the United States be picking and choosing people who should have jobs based on whether they say nice things about him or not?
No. Well, he got fired before Trump said a word. 46.2.
Actually, Trump called for his firing last. Okay, let me respond to what you said. Trump called for his firing last fall, just to be clear.
Let's talk about.
Hey, Kevin, once again, I wish the host of this show right here, I forget her name, but when you fact check someone like this guy here, you need to make sure he hears you. Hey, Kevin, I just said Trump called for his firing way before. What are you talking about? Throughout his whole entire campaign, he talked about canceling some of these media figures that he doesn't like, even jailing them. So, Kevin, what are you talking about? Your argument already ended before it even started. That's how simple-minded these people are. They don't even put This is how lazy they are. They don't even put energy into creating a decent argument. Trump had nothing to do with it. Just pretend you didn't hear the past 10 years of rhetoric on Trump and media. Just pretend you didn't hear none of that. Okay, got you.
What actually happened? $46.2 million in losses on a franchise that's 40 years old. It's old, it's dead, and unfortunately for all of the category, people are geometrically not watching late night TV anymore. Here's the problem for Colbert. His contract is a payout contract through a transaction where there's a change of control. Only a moron would tell the president to F off before he gets his check, okay? So what's gonna happen now, in my opinion, is tomorrow, CBS, his boss, will fire him, and they will litigate for the next 5 years his payout.
Fire who? Stephen Colbert?
So now,
Get rid of this guy.
Oh, no.
So now you're saying they're really
Fire
firing
them. I'd whack this guy.
I want to go back to something.
He will never get his check.
And someone said in the comments, Screw, you said Kevin needs to be deported. Dude has citizenship in 3 countries, but like, he doesn't even sound like an American. What type of true American, okay? Like, we talking about like basics here. What type of true American would support and affiliate themselves with a corporation firing somebody for exercising their First Amendment and criticizing our government? You're going to fire somebody because they're criticizing our government. And we supposed to be get this guy out of here. Man.
Something Kevin just said. I buy media for campaigns around the country, for Senate races, for House races, for governor's races. The reason primetime late night comedy is in the lineup is to balance the female bias in primetime. Late night comedy was long the domain of the young male viewer. That made it the most Republican day part in advertising. But since Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel have killed it, it is now the bluest part of primetime nighttime television. They have completely failed their one mission, which was to keep a broad audience, and especially of younger men. Late night TV's become blue.
I hate to tell
That's
you
not
this.
their job.
So late night TV has become blue, so therefore people are not watching it. Okay, once again, this is the argument of someone who has no idea about the facts about the situation. Stephen Colbert can't be number one if people are not watching. Once again, and even if they are blue late night shows, who cares? Why not? Oh, but if it was red, if they were Republican late night shows and, people were watching and the viewership were declining, he wouldn't have an issue. Oh no, because it's blue, therefore people are not watching, so it's a bad thing. So we just need to fire people, right? Shut the hell up, bro. Like, come on, man. I don't care about people's free speech. Let them say the stupid things that they want to say. But if you're so stupid and have no idea what you're talking about, I wouldn't mind if they canceled you. I wouldn't mind if they just shut you up forever. Delete all your accounts because you're not talking about nothing anyway. But that's just me. I'm sorry.
To tell you this, but people, and I know I'm on TV right now, but people aren't watching TV as much anymore these days. And it's a change. It's a change that's been going on for decades now, and it has nothing to do with Stephen Colbert and Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel. But it's just a transition that's going on in the world. But I don't like the idea, and I think you agreed with me too, Stephen. I don't like the idea of the President of the United States picking who's funny and who's not. And I think I just heard you say, Stephen, that you don't think the president should be picking winners and losers, right?
I never did.
So then how do you justify the fact that this president is essentially trying to do that? And he is the king of cancel culture even before this, because the most obvious example I can think of is Colin Kaepernick. Before Donald Trump was this Donald Trump, he called for Colin Kaepernick to be fired from his job. He said, get that SOB off the field. And that's what happened. And Colin Kaepernick was blackballed from the San Francisco 49ers and from the NFL because of Donald Trump. That's cancel culture.
There is one
great point. Once again, the hypocrisy of the Republican Party is like thicker than a Snicker. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, as a Republican, say that the party isn't a party of hypocrisy. They cried. I remember years ago when they made this a topic of discussion. Cancel culture. Oh, they're canceling people over their free speech and blah, blah, all this crying. Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Matt Walsh, all these people, cancel culture. Oh, they're trying to. But yet, their president, for 2 terms, their president continues to attack people and celebrate when they get fired. I wish I can shove the cancel culture up their ass. Like, it just drives me crazy. Like, these people have no standards. They have no morals. They cry about this while actively doing the thing. Man, I'm sorry. It's hard for me to say that Republicans are intellectuals on any level. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Late night comedian who's really hot right now, and that's Bill Maher. And Bill Maher is funny. I mean,
shit. Hold on. No, he didn't. Okay, my bad. Hold on. Let's rewind this. Listen.
NFL because of Donald Trump. That's cancel culture.
There is one late night comedian who's really hot right now, and that's Bill Maher. And Bill Maher is funny. I mean, he takes shots at everybody. I think one of the problems.
Okay. Time out. Okay. This guy's trying way too hard. This guy is digging at the bottom of the barrel and has the nerve, has the balls, the gall, the ishma. I don't know. I just made that up. To say Bill Maher is actually funny. Boy, talk about like a Republican just scam artist to even mutter those words. Oh, hey, let's cancel Stephen Colbert, but hey, Bill Maher, he's a funny. Bro, shut up, please, be quiet. Somebody get him off the stage. Wheelchair him off the stage.
What's he vowed?
Yeah, but he's not on.
He's not on a network, but he's on HBO. Network, he's got great ratings. He's very funny. He takes shots at everybody. I think the reason people stop.
It is
watching. It's supposed to be broader. Network TV is supposed to be something that everyone can
Network
watch.
TV is dying.
Can I just play one more thing from? This is where Stephen Colbert is. He's now at this point. He said the gloves are off. He's slamming his own bosses for their decision to cancel his show. Listen.
Hold on. Before they show that, let me put this. Once again, this is for copyright purposes. I will get in trouble by YouTube for them playing this clip, so this is why.
How could it purely be a financial decision if The Late Show is #1 in ratings? Over the weekend, somebody at CBS followed up their gracious press release with a gracious anonymous leak saying they pulled the plug on our show because of losses pegged between $40 million and $50 million a year. $40 million's a big number. I could see us losing $24 million, but where would Paramount have possibly spent the other $16 million? Oh, yeah.
There we go. There it is.
That's not very funny. That's the problem with him. He's not funny. And by the way, if the CBS bosses don't want to whack him, I'll do it for them. I'd fire that guy in 4 seconds if I were running the show there.
Oh my God. Once again, can we get these ugly old ass people off the stage? Me as you are the literal person that most Americans despise. You are a wealthy individual willing to wield your power against somebody you don't like or think is funny. You are the literal enemy of the American people. I'm saying it. Hey, look me in my face. Look me in my daggone face right now, okay? This guy is literally the enemy of the people. And he's on TV willing to brag about that. I'm pretty sure he owns plenty of companies and everything. And he's telling people right now he's willing to fire you if you have some sort of opposing opinion or perspective of how our government is running. That is a coward right there, bro. Come on.
Gone. And then let him litigate for his cash if he's worth 20, 30, 40. Let him wait 12 years through litigation and hire his own lawyers. That guy is dumb.
Do you know
it
where
is
Stephen
interesting
Colbert
that it is interesting that
admission that like Trump would fire him or want him fired because he's critical of Trump.
He just insulted his bosses. Like, what is this guy?
Well, I mean, he does have power.
Whack him.
In America. He does have power.
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear the guy saying in the back, nigga, this is America, bro. What you talking about? What are we doing? Are we actively trying to transform this country into a dictatorship? Why? And this is where I hate CNN. Like, why are you inviting people like this? No, that is not a good look. He brings nothing to the table. Ah, okay, let's finish. My bad.
He does have power in this equation because he knows that he is the public face of this network. Nobody
50% of the
Nobody
public.
knows who runs CBS. Okay, no one knows.
I
But
do.
everybody, right? But everybody knows Stephen Colbert, and I do think that he's exercising a certain degree of power here by basically saying, "I know that this audience is on my side." He's saying what he thinks.
He's playing the victim. And
That's
the
what
fact
Trump
is,
does.
He is a victim of Trump's thin-skinned behavior. Like, he is a victim of that.
Well, wait a minute. Stephen Colbert came to prominence in 2006 when he went to the White House Correspondents' Dinner and he trashed George Bush to his face and broke protocol for what the comedians are supposed to do at that event. This is just him repeating the same trick over and over.
If you don't like it, don't watch it.
Great.
Hey,
Well, he's
there
going
you
to find
go.
out exactly how many people want to watch it.
But,
But it'll be
I mean, that sounds like some solid advice to me. If you don't like it, don't watch it. What you talking about?
much
Come
lower
on.
salary.
Okay, that's fine. But you know what? The point is, the bigger point is that whatever CBS does, I don't agree with their decision, by the way, and I do know who the president of CBS is. But I do think that the president of the United States should butt out of this. And the reason why I wanted to bring this back to you is because Steve and I used to work together on CNBC. And the one thing you used to always say is that the president, back when Obama was the president, should never pick winners and losers. But this guy does nothing but pick winners and losers. I want you to stand up to him the way you stood up to Obama.
Trump was responding to after he was fired. But Trump isn't the one who got him fired.
All right. And as I said, Trump called for this firing many months ago.
You don't get canceled. That's
All right. Hey. Hey. Once again, let me turn back to my notes here. It just drives me up a wall, okay? And this is where you can't conversate with Republicans unless they're willing to admit that their party is actively operating in hypocrisy. Like, Trump is literally bragging about how he got Stephen Colbert fired. What type of America are we trying to turn into? That's simple. Like, it's sad. Like, I actively can't think of any reasoning for it. So that to me is just ridiculous. But we have idiots defending that, which is crazy, man. Which is crazy.
I've been wanting this shit forever. I've been in the field with whatever they throw at me, bro. myself up, moving on to the better. Hey. Ain't no errors, baby, it's a new era. I wake up early, feeling rich like I'm Kesha. I get to the paper, boy. Extra, extra.